what we were born with, was this sense of oneness, and that's where ions has been so interesting to me for it's almost their 50th anniversary. And when Edgar came back from the moon, he said, Einstein was absolutely accurate that the universe is made up of energy and matter. But he left out the most important one of all, which is consciousness. And ever since then, IONS has been researching from every manner of different science. They have more different kinds of diverse scientists researching consciousness than any place on the planet. And what they've come up with is just so, for me, thrilling, so exciting of what we have inside of us. What do we know? Everything is involved in that consciousness. And I know we're going to get a lot more of that from our speakers today. So I'm so excited to have you here able to hear what I'm so looking forward to hearing from our wonderful speakers. I am so excited about learning about Dr. Shaw, who I've never met, but you're going to hear a lot about what he's passing on through Portia and through Dr. Rulin. And we are just so lucky to have each other to learn from. I would love for you to start us out, Mahima. She lives in India, and she interviews for her show Shifting Tides. And she's going to tell us about that, and I hope a lot of you will choose to be interviewed. And there you go.
Thank you so much. I'm so thrilled and glad to be here. This is my first time in LA, and very, very grateful to Laurie and Toddy for having us be at her home and heart. A calamity or a catastrophe is always the stepping stone to growth. It always is a door that opens into an opportunity. And that happened to me. I'm talking from experience. When the pandemic started in 2020, I was a wreck in many ways. I was emotionally torn, I was physically sick, I was mentally imbalanced, and I really didn't know what to make of it. I was not ill, I was sure of that, but there was something which was not right. And that's the time, just a little before the pandemic, I had shot a little promo in France, which was to do about people's spiritual transformative moments, called the aha moments. And we were to make a film on it. But of course, the pandemic happened, everything closed down, no funding, no channels ready to work. So when I was in this state, totally torn, I thought about just checking with my friends who would like to come on Zoom. Zoom had started. Come on Zoom and put out a show, an interesting conversational show on Zoom. And I just wrote to some of my friends and I said, would you like to come on? And I had no idea at that time how it's going to completely change my life, turn around completely. And I started out with my friends. Little did I know that it just expanded beyond my comprehension. And I had the good fortune of interviewing some of the people who are here, Kurt Kruger, Toddy Blackstone, and and Master Shah. But as I was doing those interviews, every person's personal journey, what they shared on the show, was making that little shift within me. It was, and I realized that was my real healing journey. 2 years hence, I'm down with two seasons. We are on third season. And I'm here. And I can say with complete assurity that I am healed. And I give full credit to people's stories, to every single person who came on the show and was so honest, transparent, truthful, and open to share their life's journeys with complete vulnerability. That's what opened my heart. It opened my heart to the extent that I can clearly say that togetherness, that's what Toddy brought out. Togetherness, holding hands, feeling connected to others, sharing stories with complete vulnerability, even just trusting the process and just letting out all your demons in front of others, even if they are strangers. That's the key. That's the key, and that is where real healing lies. And when I interviewed Master Shah, that actually opened the Pandora's box of all the demons walking out. And I didn't realize that while talking to him, he first of all introduced me to the concept of soul healing, which Dr. Rulin would speak about. And when I started digging more into that and contemplating and realizing where did my soul lie, I realized that over the years I had probably just put it in the back burner. I wasn't even recognizing it. So I don't want to take much of your time. This is just a very short thing, but Shifting Tides is open to you all. I really would invite any of you to please come on the show, share your stories, and just be a part of this movement called love, called healing. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Chris. Sorry, I'm just a little emotional because I love Dr. Toddy so much. And she's brought all of us together, hasn't she? Over 35 years of love and alternative ways of healing. And here we are. And so many of you, I just wanted to thank you for that. Thank you for being here. Thank you for believing that there are other ways to transform and do things. Thank you for being leaders. So I just wanted to share a little bit about Dr. Rulin and Mahiyama and so many wonderful friends that I've met, Kurt, and just I look out in the audience and I'm like, wow, aren't we so blessed to be here? Yoon and Howie and all the new friends that we're meeting today too. And I wanted to share how excited I am, like Dr. Toddy said, about the alternate ways of healing. In my life, I would just share this little part of it. Everything in my life was not going in the right direction. I was also suicidal for a long time, and I didn't like what I was doing. I actually was a casting director for a long time, for years actually. And it was nice to make other people's dreams come true, but I wanted to do something big for the world. Do you feel that too in your heart? You want to make a change, right? That's why we're all here and learning about that. But finances, everything was just going in the wrong direction very quickly. And I met Master Shah, and he transformed my life. I met Dr. Rulin with Divine Love and Dell Science, and completely transformed everything. And like Mahiyama said and Dr. Toddy, there are so many beautiful ways to heal. We just haven't discovered them all, you know? And so now it's time when everyone can come together and bring their different ways to heal. Some of them coming from indigenous cultures, some of them coming from modern, you know, but all coming together as one. And it's so important, you know? So today I will not also take so much time. I know Dr. Lin just came from an amazing conference in Phoenix, and she's also teaching some classes at Berkeley. She graduated from Berkeley, so I'll introduce her a little bit so you know her. And you'll just love her, like you love Dr. Toddy and Mahiyama as well. But Dr. Rulin, she grew up in China. So Dr. Toddy said, all of these healers are converging from Hawaii and India and China. Dr. Lin was born in China. And actually, they were neighbors, huh, Dr. Lin?
Yeah,
Master Shah? Yes, they were actually neighbors. And her mother said, go and help our neighbor. And little did she know that later on they would cross paths and transform her entire life as he did mine. And So she went on and she was highly regarded in so many different disciplines. She was highly recruited, math and science and everything. But Dr. Lin is quite a free spirit as well. She loves to dance, and if we're good and we're all, she'll sing for us. She has a beautiful Dao song. I don't know about you, but what do you think? Yes. It sounds like beautiful Chinese opera, and it's healing. That's the beautiful thing about it. She has many talents. And she tried her whole life to find this amazing grand unification theory that unifies exactly what Dr. Toddy said. Why can't we all get along? But something that unifies everything together as one. And so she found it with Dr. Master Sha's help. And you'll hear a little bit about that, about the soul wisdom and the heart, and how we can all open our hearts to more love and heal together, heal the world together as one. And I will not give away everything, but I just want to say thank you for being here. And I wanted to introduce Dr. Lin and have her come and share some amazing wisdom and new and current wonderful things that she has been speaking about. So Dr. Lin, welcome.
Thank you so much.
Let's do it. Good for you.
I want just to first thank Dr. Toddy and Portia and everyone you here to give me the privilege to be part of the family. I know, Dr. Toddy had built this beautiful family together for more than 30 years, and it's just a privilege and a blessing for me to be part of this family. And I want to share a little bit about my journey. I think it's to have a beautiful family and supporting each other is so important. And when I was sitting there, I was just thinking about the war, the war between Russia and also Ukraine. They are actually used to be brothers, and one country and also their history. But when they fight, and it's just everybody suffers, including us. We are our, food price, gas price, everything is increasing, and the whole world suffers. Not to mention how much they are suffering, and but when we're together, we can create so much beautiful things together, and we can enjoy prosperity, enjoy happiness, good health. And so I'm going to recently I just finished a book called The Science of One. So I hope through this we can all bring the science of one, when we togetherness, and how this really help everyone, and that is a new wisdom. And at this moment, so can you hear me now? Yeah, okay, good. So I'll just sit here, be the part of the family, and talk to you. I want to first, maybe share about a little of my journey. I think Portia talk about it, but I want to share a little bit about my journey. So I grew up in China, and when I grew up, I was very talented in science. So all my family and my parents and teachers pushed me went to the best university at that time in China in science. And so when I was in the university, I got this inspiration. I want to find the grand unification theory. So grand unification theory is to use one mathematical formula to explain everything. So Einstein is one of the first person one of the very important person working on this theory, and hundreds of top physicists has been working on this for hundreds of years. So, I was just like, somehow I was just so inspired, like this is my dream, this is what I'm going to completely focus my time on. And I remember that time, my boyfriend always complaining, I don't have time for him. Usually the girls complain about the boyfriend, don't have time. He always complained, I don't have time for him. I started really hard. And later I came to UC Berkeley, got my PhD in string theory and grand unification theory. And then afterwards, I went to Houston Advanced Research Center, and later went to Harvard to continue my research on the grand unification theory. But then for a while, I was so going through quite a challenge. I was really working really hard, but at the same time, I feel this at heart I could not find this theory. And also I look around, I work with some top scientists in the world, and I don't see they can find it either. I don't even see, there's just like, I don't see any hope. So actually out of desperation, actually I gave up. I moved to Hawaii and set up a business. So in Hawaii, I had my spiritual awakening. And so in this awakening, actually, I want to describe this to you. I was in a ceremony in Hawaii, and a lot of people were singing and dancing. And then I was just like, I was sitting there by myself, and I just felt, this air was filled with love, and people singing with love. And I felt the love of my parents, my beloved ones, and my parents-in-law and my friends. And I feel this air is loving me, and I feel the sun is loving me, the trees are loving me. I feel the land is loving me. And then I feel the whole universe is loving me. And I realized at that moment, I truly experienced the whole universe is about love. Everything is love. This, I probably read about it somewhere before. I don't remember, but at least I did not experience it. But at that moment, I experienced it, and I felt it. I felt the whole universe is loving me. And then in that love, and I felt this presence, you can call it divine. And I felt this love is from this source, this divine source. And I felt this divine source, this presence, like so powerful. And this presence is so powerful, it will think of something, things will happen. There's not something it cannot make it happen. And also it has infinite love it wants to give to all of us. And when I felt it, I was starting to cry. I actually cried for hours. And I remember my friend come over and like, "Are you okay?" And I said, "I'm okay, just leave me alone, let me cry." And I cried for hours. And I remember at that moment, I keep like thinking, sometimes the mind come in, kicking, it's like, what I need to do to deserve this love. And then I hear this voice, this presence was telling me that all you need to do is to smile. You don't need to earn love. You just need to receive love. Just feel this love and enjoy this love. And that moment I suddenly realized the purpose of life is just come here to enjoy love. And this love is freely given to all of us. All we need to do is just enjoy the love. So that is a major breakthrough in my life. I remember the next day, that night, it was so magical. The next day, when I wake up, I was like, I jump out of my bed. I said, wow, this world is about enjoying love. This is what life is about. Because the life before that, I was a high achiever, always trying to achieve more, doing better with things. And but that is a crucial moment. My life completely changed. Like after that, I suddenly realized life is not about achieving anything. It's about just enjoying love. So that's what I started my day, and I live the rest of the day. I normally will go to my work, but that day I did not go to work. It ended up I don't go to work very often at all afterwards. And I just let enjoying love lead my day. But what's the amazing thing is my business became extremely successful, and my personal life became extremely successful. I think of something, things will happen. It's almost like a thought come, and the things just start to happen effortlessly. And so in fact, I was so good at manifesting things, I kind of completely lost interest. At least I was starting losing interest, and I realized, what is for, and to manifest all these things. I remember I was like, bought a beautiful 4-acre beach home on the beach, have my own beach. I have like a mountain in Hawaii, and I build a factory in Hawaii, and then and then I want to have some waterfall property. It was just crazy, and then I realized, what is it for, and then I just started to realize, what I really wanted is to advance my spirit. And I have a few friends is a kahuna, so I'm learning from them. And so one of the kahuna, actually both of them, I have 2 kahuna girlfriends, both of them urged me to meet with Dr. and Master Zhigang Sha. So there's a small picture, and this is a bigger picture. So so there's a book Master Sha and I, we write together. And so I met him, and he came to my neighborhood and in Hawaii for a one-day workshop. So in the workshop, I was able to, I was so impressed about he's doing this amazing soul healing, created soul healing miracles. People, my neighbors, they were paralyzed and, sit in the wheelchair, and then he was get them start to walk, stand up to walk, people in death, and they start to hear, people blind and starting to see. And so I was just like so, amazed. I never met anybody can do something like that. And also he was very wise. He would explain some wisdom, very Asian. From China, I'm from the Asian wisdom, but I don't understand it. But he can explain in such a simple way, and also teach us how to apply it in our life. So I was really amazed by that, impressed by that. But what really touched my heart is he's devoted to help others, to make others happier and healthier. So that is something really, really somehow inspired me. And at that moment, I remember by the end of the day, I bought all his books and CDs, and I walked up to him. I told him I want to become his student. By then, I already had stopped doing physics for more than 10 years, probably. Yeah, more than 10 years. Yeah, more than 10 years, 13 years. And then, but that turned out actually the best step I ever taken for finding the grand unification theory. Because after I went to Hawaii, I stopped doing physics, and I don't even tell people I'm a physicist. I would just tell my friend would introduce me as a farmer. I love that. I don't tell people I'm a physicist at all. I was like a painful experience, and so I stopped doing physics. I don't think about it. I don't want to think about it. But then I started to learn soul healing from Master Sha. And then in one of his workshops, and he was telling people about, in his one of his workshops, I go to almost all his workshops, and in one of his workshops, I suddenly had this, because often in his workshop, I was sitting there, I was like, being a physicist, trained as a physicist, I often sit there and thinking, how can I explain the soul? What is a soul? What is a soul healing? What this really means? He explained it his spiritual way. He said, soul is a light being. If normal at that time, sometimes I see there's light, but sometimes I don't see. But I'm not sure I really see people's soul in a light being. And so I was thinking, what this really means scientifically. So one day, I was in his workshop, I suddenly had this aha moment. Wow, the soul can actually be explained, in fact, mathematically described, even calculated by quantum physics. This aha moment just come very clear, like I can calculate the soul, I can measure the soul, at least in principle, in scientifically. So, and so I shared that, I think it's, I was able to have a lot of aha moment actually. And so at that moment, it's because of soul healing. Soul healing, as you will share, I will share later. And so I shared that with him, and he immediately see the significance of this, this insight. So two of us starting to working together and to put the science. So our first book is a Soul, Mind, Body Science. I did not bring that book. And it's a green book, you can go get it. And also a second book we wrote together is Tao Science. And through working with him and also through the soul healing, finally I was able to find the grand unification theory I am so happy with. And so yeah, and so now I'm going to the physics conference, publish many papers, and going to physics conferences about this amazing theory we were working on. It's really, really very beautiful. In fact, it's much more beautiful than actually I originally thinking about. Before, it just bring all the forces, all the matters, space and time, unify them together. Talk about togetherness, but then now. Not only are the theory grand unification is not only about unify all the matters, energies and space and time, but it's actually this theory can unify science and spirituality. We can in this science we can study the consciousness, not only just consciousness, it's even the spiritual heart. And also the spirit and soul, how we can study those things scientifically. So I will share this with you because this is, this is very, very important at this moment for all humanity to know. Because right now we're so, put attention on the matter, right, the physical realm. And I think people starting to see the importance of the consciousness. I just went to this Science of Consciousness conference, which is quite amazing. It's very interesting. The scientists, they all kind of realize, we don't really know much about our consciousness, how the consciousness come about, the science of consciousness, and so it's just kind of like a good place because everybody's equal. So this conference, I love it because everybody's equal because it's all, they don't have a very set idea. So everybody's very open, and I love that. And so I shared some of our ideas. People love it, and the scientists really, So I think we can definitely our theory can contribute a lot to that realm. So I will share what is our what we discovered. Yeah. So Tao science includes four laws, but I will going to first share the first law. So our discovery. And so in Tao science, we discovered that everything is made of three things. Yeah. The first thing is the matter. Matter is what we see, what we hear, what we touch, what we experience in life. So we call that as matter. It's basically our physical life, material life, right? Physical reality we experience. We call it matter. And so everything has, our relationships and matter, business, finances, of course, our body, our health. So everything we experience is a matter. And then we said, so everything has a matter. And then there's second thing everything contains is the energy. Yeah, so that we all know. Yeah, we know. So what is energy? Energy is what can move and change the matter. So that we all know this as well, right? We know we want to do some work, do some exercise, or drive our car, or heat up water. We need energy, right? So that's why the whole world, really paired, everybody wants more energy, more country want more energy resources, because it takes energy. And also we have a Qigong master, and that's really about actually using it to use energy in your body to become really intelligent, healthy, live longer. So it's so energy is if you want to really live longer, you need energy. So that is so Chinese, like Western medicine, they focus on the matter. So but then the energy healing in Chinese medicine, like acupuncture, herbal medicine, they focus on how to move the energy. Energy is something that can change and move the matter. And so then we discovered there's a third thing. Yeah. So Dr. Toddy said it's a consciousness. Yeah. So in Tao science, we call but then you will ask, what is consciousness, right? And so in a scientific way, what is a consciousness? So we discovered on the third thing, everything contains, no matter what it is. You know, if you're atom, so what atom also contains, right? The third thing is information. So we live in the information age. So, you know, we talk about information all the time, right? So what is information? Information is something informs, right? And it gives a shape and form to energy and matter. So think about your bank account, right? The information about your bank account determines how much money you can get from your bank. So information, you know, determines energy and matter. So quantum physics tells us everyone is everything is a field, is quantum field. Yeah. So this field contains vibrations. You know, it's basically like waves. And so quantum physics, literally the wave function describes what kind of vibrations in your field. And if you, from the wave function, you can literally see what kind of matter you have, what kind of energy you have, and also what kind of information you have. So all three of these elements, it can be calculated in quantum physics. And so I want to talk a little bit about quantum physics. Actually, I just gave a talk into Berkeley. And I talk about quantum physics of the meditation. So I said, what is a meditation? Meditation is to access to your quantum body. You know, currently, a lot of people, most people, we live in a classical body. So what is a classical body? Classical body is like, in classical physics, everybody, you are this object, right? And this object has certain paths, right? You have a, where you are, your space, location, and at what time, right? And then you have this trajectory, this path. You are, life is like a path. You're moving forward, right? This path is determined by external forces, right? You don't have too much control. So this is how classical physics, tell us about life. But if you really understand quantum physics, in quantum physics, each one of us is a vibrational field, right? And this field extends over all space and time. So we are actually infinite beings, has infinite potential. And this in our vibrational field, there's all kinds of vibrations and informations, energies. In fact, you can decide where you are. You can decide one of those possibilities you want to live. We are the producer and director of our life. Nobody decide for you. You decide it. So you can create any life. So that's what's exciting, yeah. So right now, it's really the humanity is going through some profound transformation. We're going to be, it's important for all of us to start to be empowered, to realize our potential and start to live a new life. This is what all this war and all this catastrophe is trying to wake us all for. Like beloved Dr. Toddy is teaching us, the disasters really wake her up to her higher potentials. And right now the catastrophe of the COVID, wars, and many natural disasters, and many people feel, challenged in so many ways, is because right now humanity are on the threshold to be waking up to a higher level of existence, to step into our quantum body, our quantum existence. And to know each one of us has the power to create any life we want. There's no limitation. That's another thing for us to realize. There's no limitation. dream your highest dream, it all can become true. And you don't have to be special, you don't have to struggle, or don't even need to struggle. That's what I learned. I keep telling Portia and all my students, you don't need to struggle, you don't even need to work hard. You just need to enjoy and love. Enjoy. In fact, to have a concept working hard, that is the negativity you give to yourself and create more struggle in your life. You know, you think, oh, life is stressful. You keep talking about you have more and more stress, and you kind of prove yourself is really right, right? Because all of us, our words, our thinking creates our own life. So everybody is correct, right? It's just whether you want to be correct in the way you enjoy, right? Or you want to be correct in a way you don't like. So the information, so what information we give to ourselves and give to others determines our life. So one of the first thing with my students, I usually teach them, be aware. What information you're giving to yourself? You know? Are you giving yourself good information which you want to create, about the life you want to create? Or are you giving yourself negative information? And oftentimes I realize people get sick is because inside them they store some negative information. Some is from your ancestors, because our ancestors pass down a lot of their information to us. Or some information we get from the society. Or from when we grow up, there's some negative information they just somehow stuck inside of us. They somehow was directing our life. Yeah, I have people that come to me. This beloved one, she come to me because she was tested, had breast cancer, and the doctor said you need to have an operation. We do the quantum healing for her. So we first change her vibrational field, yeah, and using actually something like the technology like this, calligraphy, and we also and then I also release her negative information. So basically, when we get sick, it's because there's negative information inside of us. So I help her to release those negative information. And then I'll also tell her, tell her what the negative information is causing her to have this sickness. And I tell her now, you need to live a new life. I give her the positive information for her starting to tell herself, even repeatedly tell herself, and so that those old negative information cannot come in to bother her. And so I just had one session, 1 hour, and 2 days later, so she was doing all the homework I gave her to do. 2 days later, she tested, there's no cancer. And she don't, yeah, and she did not believe it. And she next week she get tested again. And doctor said, you don't need to come back to see me anymore. So maybe half a year later, you can come back to retest it. Yeah. And this I have actually many cases like this. There's another woman, she have a urinary. And so in her case, I'm talking about negative information, in her case, apparently when she was very young, there's something horrible thing happened to her. In fact, her parents don't want to talk about it. And for many years, actually, she and her parents don't even talk. Actually sent her away from home, trying to have other people to adopt her when she was very young. And so those kind of negative information stuck inside her. She has working really hard for more than 20 years trying to release them, but sometimes there's so much you can do. Some of negativity, we don't see it because we are inside of it. It's kind of like you're inside mud sometimes, and you grew up like that, then you don't recognize it. And yeah, so this kind of so I want to share this with you because it just really show that the negative information that is causing people have challenges and difficulties. And then to have success, to have good health, longevity, good relationships, finances, is basically to have more positive information. And one of the beloved man, he came to me to have a consultation with me. And she was saying, he was asking me, he said, I want to set up this business, I don't know whether I can do that. And I said, of course you can. And so I gave him some blessings to basically transform her vibrational field and give him download more positive information. And so very quickly he's getting very successful. And then he said he was trying to build houses. Actually, he wanted to build houses for women. And very quickly there's several investors come, and she had every once in a while she have consultation with me. She said, should I take on other investors? And I said, of course you can, and just be make sure you're very clear, you can work together, and so very quickly, her business became millions of dollars. And later she had me write a calligraphy for him. Her business very quickly grew to more than $10 million. And I see her company can easily go to hundreds of millions of dollars. Yeah. So the thing is with everything. So everything is about positive information. So if we can change our vibrational field, and also change the vibrational field. And the second is input let it go of negative information and input positive information, and your life start to change. So one of the things is you may ask, so everything in Tao science we can define mathematically. So what is a positive information? How can you define positive information? So what we discover in Tao science is that positive information is the connection, like Dr. Toddy talked about, togetherness. Yeah? So humanity for so many years, thousands of years, we talk about competition, take advantage of others. But actually, the positive information is about togetherness, it's a connection. The more connection you have, then the more success, happiness, longevity, good health you can have. Just think about our body, right? If my hand is not connected with my brain, it will be paralyzed. I won't be able to have this hand doing anything. So we have good health because this body have this connection. The cells are connected, the organs are connected. The more connection they have, in my body the more health and longevity I can have. And now the scientists, they talk about the signal molecules, signal proteins, because to enhance signal protein, they basically signal molecules about really the molecule they need to talk to each other. And the cells, they need to talk to each other. If they don't talk to each other, if they don't do this, then people will age much faster. We lose, when we get older, the cell, the skins, and also eyesight, a lot of them is because the communication actually is decreasing. And positive information is a connection. Just think about your business. Some of you may be in the business, right? In business, if you have more connection with your customers, right, with your employees and with your suppliers, then your business will be more successful. So the whole business is just trying to enhance the connection, positive information. So in fact, what we come to, what is life is, we come to think about this, look at this little leaf, this plants, right? This leaf, little leaf, they get the sunshine and get nutrients from earth and the air. It grows this beautiful, right? Beautiful pattern, right? It's growing the positive information. So the life, the whole purpose of life, we come to the life to grow the positive information. The life is built because we have positive information. And also we come to this life to grow more positive information. We build family to grow more positive information. We grow, business, country, and our health. Also, our body is trying to grow more positive information. And also in Dao Science, we discovered the information contains 3 parts. One is the content of information, and one is the receiver of information, one is the processor of information. Yeah. So if we know about information, we all know this very well. So we need a computer, need a memory, to hold the information. So we discovered in Dao Science what spirit, the soul, in fact, is the content of information. So the information determines every aspect of our life. So that's why the soul is the essence of our life. The soul actually, our spirit determines every aspect of our life. So the soul healing is basically trying to enhance the positive information in our soul. And realize we come to this life to enhance our soul. The soul as information, our physical body can die, right? Can stop functioning at a certain point for some people. In China, there are some people, they don't have to do that. They cultivate actually. Going through the cultivation, their physical body do not have to stop functioning. But for most people, your body, you can stop functioning at a certain time. But our soul as information, right, as vibration, it still exists. So our soul can be internal. Our physical body, we come to this physical body to serve the soul, to advance our soul, to have more positive information, to become greater, to have more connections. Eventually, we'll reach the highest potential soul, which is the divine. You can call it divine or the source. The divine is basically this universal vibrational field, can be anywhere, can be any form, has the greatest potential and the greatest, most positive information. So in Dao Science, we actually talk about what is the source. The source is actually the emptiness, which contains, mathematically, we can literally in Dao Science can show you the source, emptiness actually contains the ultimate biggest soul and contains the most positive information. So for us to meditate or healing, the best healing is to connect with the source because it contains the most positive information. And if we can connect with that positive information can transform every aspect of our life. And our relationships, finances, careers, or physical health, any aspect of your life. So spiritual healing, the soul healing, is not only, it deals with the root cause, because the information is the root cause. And it's also for every aspect of our lives. Yeah? And it's everybody. This is, and also it can be very fast. Like this person have the cancer, it can be 2 days. Not only his cancer was gone, and also afterwards he felt, he felt so much more happier, so much lighter, and his finance is going to a completely different way, different level of abundance. And also her personal relationships is starting to really change in an amazing way. So every aspect of her life is starting to change. So spiritual healing is something everybody needs. It doesn't matter, which area you are, which levels you are. We all need, because this is what we come to this life for, to advance our spirit. That is why, like for me, I don't miss any spiritual healing. And actually, every day we give ourselves spiritual healings. And, I hardly work on my science, but science is just working on so well. My research is doing so well. Because if I release my blockages, release negative information, and then I was able, the science is just automatically there. It's already there. It's just we're blocking it. We're not connected with it. So I just needed to remove my blockages, and so that the positive information coming in, I can connect with it, and then it's just there. Everything is already there. The abundance, everything we want is actually already there. We just need to let go of our own blockages. So this is a new way of life. It's like waiting for everyone. And that's why Portia and we are all so excited to share this with everyone, because humanity, we need this. We need to realize we don't need to fight each other. We need to connect with each other. Togetherness, again, Dr. Toddy. And then that's actually everybody can have more abundance and enjoying ourselves more. Yeah? So anybody had any questions? Yes, go ahead.
So first of all, so much gratitude to you, to Portia, to Toddy, to Mahima.
Thank you. Thank you for
It feels like there are more than, I don't know, maybe there are 30 people. It feels like there's several hundred people now. So that I feel that people are being affected by this who aren't here. What causes the blockages? Are people born with the blockages? When the soul comes to a new body, I'm assuming, I also believe in reincarnation of souls. Aren't there limitations that are built into the body? And is it the soul's job to have the experience of the blockage? And if the soul discovers how to free us from the blockages, have we lost some of the lesson that we came for?
Yeah, beautiful question. Very important question. Yeah, it was, our soul. We're all born with some blockages, but it's also not a negative thing, because what happened is we born with some negativity from our ancestors or from our own soul, but it's also not negative in a way, because our soul come here to experience life, to learn, to become wiser. Yeah, so that ultimately can reach its highest potential. So don't think about the negative information as something negative, right? It's just something for us to learn. I will often tell my people, it's like life is we're doing some experiment. We're all going to make mistakes, but the key is to learn from it. Yeah, learn from it so we can become wiser, and then there's more, and then our life can go to the next level.
Okay, thank you. One very last quick question. When you look at that in microcosm about each individual, right, that is one answer. But do you also view the entire world macro? Do you see the blockage is something that's affecting all of us in the world? And is this any special time that you see happening where we are ridding ourselves of world blockages? Do you see that happening?
Yeah, definitely. Right now, we definitely, the whole world has certain negativities. In fact, all of us we're sick in that sense, and actually, so I teach you the first thing, the content information is the soul, right? And so, which is the most important part. And second thing is the receiver of the information. A receiver of the information we find is a spiritual heart. So what is spiritual heart? Spiritual heart is in the spiritual book, they often talk about the heart. Like if you read the Bible, Bible said, above everything, guard your heart, because everything comes from it. So this heart, I call it a spiritual heart, because it's not this physical heart, right? Everything coming from this heart. Of course, you can think about, the blood, everything. But there's spiritual heart. We define the spiritual heart as a receiver of the information. And I realized humanity, we're so much in the brain. We're thinking. We're not using our heart to receive this beautiful love vibrations. Receive especially from the source. Source has this most beautiful love. We forgot to receive the love. We're busy doing all these amazing things. And I have some people, they're so busy doing all this stuff, but their life is not changing. They become more and more miserable. And I said, what are you so busy about? Start, slow down, enjoying love. So that is like to me, I feel that is like common human sickness. It's almost affect everyone, including myself. Yeah.
Thank you for your teaching and your blessings to us.
Yeah. So literally, Portia and I, we teach a course about how to literally teach people how to use the heart to feel the love. And it's like some of my students have been learning with me for a while. They still don't know how to. It's actually the sickness is quite deep. Mm-hmm.
Without getting too scientifically wrapped up in all the details, you mentioned about the molecules communicating with one another. And I know they communicate on a chemical and electrical level. Are they also communicating through the field in a more metaphysical, psychic way?
Yeah, definitely. Molecule, so in Tao science, we consider everything has a soul, has a heart, and a mind. Because everything, they have their information, and they can receive certain information, they can process certain information. But on the other hand, molecule, their ability to, to hold certain information, receive certain information, and process information is very limited, right, compared to a human being, right? So, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so now you can ask.
I'm so delighted to be here and to be transformed by your words. I remember Mother Teresa that said, help me love the poor because I will be feeling the presence of God by loving the poor. So that reminds me of the love of community. I'm Jennifer Cochet, I'm a psychologist, and I have done a lot of spiritual work, healing of memories for years and years. But I recently read Walter Isaacson, The Codebreaker, and it was about the CRISPR effect on gene editing. And I wonder, with Jennifer Doudna, that won the Nobel Prize, whether there are studies that when you do the positive things and you have higher vibration, I wonder if the genes are being transformed. So can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, I believe so, but although I did not do experiment, I don't have experiment data to support, but I truly believe so. Yeah, in fact, how we think, how we feel really determines our whole physiology. In fact, we have actually this time I presented some research in the conference. I literally show mathematically our consciousness of space and time, our own consciousness of space and time actually create the whole universe and create all the fundamental, elementary particles, forces, space and time, everything. It's literally like a whole thing is created by our own consciousness. So if we let go of this consciousness, we can go into higher consciousness. And we don't even have to be even restricted by this universe. We can go to even a higher universe, higher realms. So yeah, it's quite amazing. Yeah.
Hi, Dr. Rulin.
Hi, Susan.
My name is Susan Carlson, and I would like to ask you the question. We're so fortunate to have you here and for us to be hearing about this. But there's a whole world out there who needs to hear about this. And also, we may not have the opportunity to work with you. What would you recommend for us to do on a daily basis that perhaps that we can change our consciousness to that of love and try to get rid of those negative blocks to just have the incoming love and feeling in our hearts.
Yeah, very beautiful. Yeah, so that's there's many ways, but also, like Portia and I, we give classes and teach people how to live in love. It's literally like our blockage is so deep, so thick. We have to. So we have a program that teach you how to do that in the classes. I think 12-week classes. We should probably do more of that. I even do coaching on that. And also we have a center in Portland, Tao Center Portland. So we have daily from Tuesday to Friday. So basically this, we have this calligraphy field, Master Sha empower us to do. This is basically creates a powerful, positive information field. So we'll do some, you can fully experience it. Yeah, and so we get people together and doing practices and doing the daily work of letting go of negativity, and then how to reprogram our whole body. And it's this daily work, that's what I spend the most time to do.
So would you suggest then that perhaps we sign up for your class?
Yeah,
and learn
definitely
how
the
to do
classes
that?
and the books and classes were very helpful because it creates a field, and then it is in that field many blockages can be released, and then also we teach you how to reprogram, because like a lot of even some students with me, they have with me even quite a while, they still really need to take that class. As many of my students, they take class many times, because each time you go deeper. Myself too. Every time I teach or I learn, I go deeper myself. Because it's different layers.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Also, you have mentioned many books, including your book called Science of One.
Yeah, Science of One is going to come out soon, and also. We have I got this book, actually, Divine Gifts to me. It's basically literally like wake me up at middle of night, like 3:33. Look at my watch, it's 3:33. It's a book called Divine Love. And it's literally about how to reprogram your life, just live in love. I brought one copy, but I should have brought more copies. But I can tell you how you can get that one. That book is so beautiful. Many people, they put that book in their purse and read it, very often, because the love and the message of that book is so beautiful.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much for that question. Hello.
Hello, thanks for coming here, talking to us. Thanks, Toddy and Iron Society and every speakers. I have a few questions. My name is Fariba. Are you saying soul and spirit are the same? Or
So what?
Soul and spirit, are they the same?
In our definition, it's the same. Other people, maybe they define differently. But in Tao science, that's our definition.
So they are the same.
Yeah, I think some people, they define, it's really a matter of definition. Some people, they maybe think the spirit is maybe the God or universal spirit, their soul is just an individual, and it depends on your definition. For us, they are the same, but then the soul, you have your manifested soul, but you also have your original soul. Your original soul is one with the source, and then your manifested soul is a little bit limited. So, but then some people, they they define the soul as your manifested soul and the spirit as the original soul. So it's just a matter of definition, how you want to define it.
So when we die, usually in the movies and stuff, they show like I guess soul goes out of us. So that's the thing goes out of, and it's infinite, you say?
Yes.
Okay.
No, for some people, it could be, it's infinite,
So another question, please. When you say you can manifest everything you think about, I know your example about your own life and healing other people, but if you, for example, think about finishing the war, the current war in Ukraine, for example, can you do that and make it finish?
I think if enough of us think about that way, it will change, right? And but I think right now there's many people don't want that war to stop, you know. And maybe they say it, but maybe their heart, you know, what do we know? There are people that benefit from that war. They don't want to stop. So that is why, you know, it's urgent for us to spread this kind of wisdom. You know, the people you are doing those negative things, in the end, and they could suffer.
So you mean like if more people really pray from their hearts, it can stop it if there is enough people?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. Yeah.
And last question, what do you think about numerology? You know, you just like 3, 6, 9, these numbers. I mean, I think about something, I look at the time, and some number shows, I Google the numerology meaning of it, and it always, most of the times, answers me. It's like the angels talking to me.
Yeah.
Do you believe in numbers and angels relation?
Yeah, definitely. Actually, yeah, coincidence is no coincidence. Yeah, actually, that's what I'm talking about in the book as well. The coincidence is actually has a profound meaning, and how that happens, it's actually is related to the soul connection. So yeah, so I'm glad you are starting to see it. That is part of your soul is talking to you, and also universal soul is talking to you.
The birthday.
Deliver the messages and informations.
Do you think birthdays are related to, like based on our birthday?
Our birthday, you know, is that birthday. When are you born and where are you born? And that's, you know, that information, right, is also connected to the information at that moment, the cosmic information and also earth information. And that information is also important for your evolution. So definitely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here. My question is, it's easier this way. Can you share with us briefly how you bring somebody into the quantum field to remove the negative blockage? Is it like prayers? Is it like Reiki symbols you do on the people, or what exactly do you do?
Yeah, what can you have you experience it today?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you can experience it. Yeah, some of our techniques. Yeah.
Okay. Great.
I'm going to demo it. Yeah.
Nice. Is that something you teach also in the?
Yeah. Actually, we train healers, so that's another thing. We want to train a lot of healers for humanity. So all of you, so that is one thing. Master Sha, he had this amazing power, and he actually want to give to all of us, and so that we can go out to help humanity to heal. So that's one of the things we do in our center. We train healers. We teach self-healing, how you can heal yourself, and also, you can also have consultation with us.
The center that is in Portland.
Yeah.
You mean you teach? Is that Reiki, or is it something different? Or it's not Reiki, right?
Yes, not Reiki. No, not at all. Yeah. So so we have different techniques. One is we use sound. To help people use sound to release the negative informations in your sacred points, like 7 chakras, but we have other sacred points. Those are the area that hold negative informations. So we'll help you to release them. And also we use gestures or body gestures. And also, definitely we also teach the mind power, a little bit how to use the mind power, but we're mostly focusing on the quantum healing. One of it is, so we train this, like the Tao calligraphy. We call it Tao calligraphy. It's written, this is a calligraphy I wrote it myself. And so it is written, you can see written with one stroke. And so this Tao calligraphy carries, connects with the Tao. Tao is the source and the creator. So this calligraphy carries the energy and the field, and that can help you, and also inputs the positive information into your fields, and
that's the symbol of the quantum field, basically.
No, actually, it's information. So this one is the greatest compassion. This one is the greatest harmony.
Okay.
Yeah. So people, some people they order, they have me, if they can have a calligraphy like this. So I have people, everybody got it. It's just, the life is completely changed. It can change completely your whole quantum field of your home. And, or some people order for the whole home, for their family, or for their business. That's the one thing.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, so we'll have your experience and you can share what your experience is. Yeah, great.